What's up, my dudes? Welcome to the very first episode of the Training Other People in MX Simulator here. So, first of all, let me thank a donator, Christian Reed, for the 69-cent donation. He says, tell everyone in the video that my inspiration is Jake Kazarian. It's kind of like Dan Bilzerian. And he says, he's my love. He's inspired. Good God, English. He inspires me to do what I do today. And then he put a little heart emblem there. So either way, appreciate that 69-cent donation. So the first request that I got for the training video here, and by the way that I did this was like a first come, first serve kind of basis. I didn't like pick favorites or do anything like that. It's just, this was the very first email that I got here. So, and I'm going to keep on doing these. So don't forget, if you want to send those in, you can do that to my email address. Just include your gameplay and what you're having trouble with, and I'll make a video on it. So let me actually get down here to what he said, and then I will. Okay, so this is from Tanner Walker. All right, I'll go ahead and start the gameplay here. So check this out right here. He was trying to ride a wheelie like like I used to do at the beginning of my videos. Oh, dude, that was perfect. So he says, hey Spencer, I play MX Simulator and I see your video on how you were going to start training people. Well, here I am. I ran some laps on 2017 Glen Helen, and I was seeing if you could help me out. So he says, my biggest problem with MX Simulator is my turn speed. I'm getting better at it, but I want to see your thoughts. You will see it a lot in this demo. And he put riding level as novice, and he put mistakes, crashing in stupid spots, not riding smart. If you see anything else, don't be scared to speak the truth. Okay, so let's see if we can analyze this right here. All right, so he's definitely a motocross rider. I can already see he's got a fairly decent speed going from what I'm seeing here as far as like novice level. And obviously with these demos, it's going to be a little bit different than like a race type scenario, because you can go in there and like try 1,000 times to get a good demo. I'm not saying that's what this guy did, but I'm just saying you could, different from like actually racing around other people and doing all that. So it is a little bit different, but at the same time, I can still come in here and kind of analyze what people are doing. So, but from just what I'm seeing, I mean, it's a fairly decent speed level. You know what I'm saying? Just from how fast I can see everything coming to me, like you're going pretty good here. I mean, from what I'm seeing. Now let's see. It's just going to take me a minute to kind of seeing it here, analyzing. I'm not really sure how many laps he ran here, but it's not looking too bad. I mean, it looks like he's got enough movement to kind of pull up his front end in areas, which is good. That tells me that his suspension is not too, or his setup and slash suspension is not too like strict. You know, it's not like, it's not too tight of a setup, right? It looks like he's got it somewhat loose enough to definitely get enough movement on the bike to actually maneuver around the track. So that's always a good sign there. So, oh, there's a little crash. Okay, so yeah, so as soon as he landed off of that, just kind of fell down there. That can happen for sure. That's probably one of the most tricky things in MX simulators, when you get a section like that where you're like fucking wide open into 30 rollers, and you can jump as many of them as you want to jump, and it's like a complete guessing game. That's where you really got to be good at figuring out what gear you're in. You understand what I'm saying? You got to know like exactly what your bike's going to do at a wide open position of a certain gear, and that way you can build a consistency on how you're hitting that particular jump into roller type section. It's very hard to just like go in there and be like half throttle in a certain gear and try to judge it. That's never really going to work. You're going to have to be like wide open in some kind of gear, and you know exactly where you're going to land every single time from being wide open in that certain gear. You understand what I'm saying? So that's something that you'll learn with just getting it in that perfect gear there. But I mean, just in an overall like consistency type sense, he looks pretty good. He doesn't look, too wild on the bike or anything like that. Let's see. So he was saying, how can he improve, corner speed and stuff like that? Well, when you start getting really hardcore with corner speed, you see, like right there, you kind of start learning how you work your far outside berms. You start learning little trick lines on the track. Woo, got a little hung up right there. Nice little save there, dude. You start learning little trick lines where you can kind of work the outside berms. You can sometimes, in some occasions, I know it's kind of cheating, but you can kind of like work the off edge of the track in certain ways if you're not like losing time every lap on that section, obviously. You're going to have to figure out certain little sections like that. I know Glen Helen usually always has a section where you can like ride up above on the outside berm of the track, and then you're like off of the track, but technically you're not really losing any time because the timing gate kind of goes out there. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So either way, he had another little fall right there. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly what the issue is here when he's falling. He's just having some weird little crashes. Let's see. Okay, notice he's got definitely over jumps that a little bit. That's one thing I'm noticing right now, just right off the bat, one little tip, and of course, I have this problem as well. That's how I know how to tell you that you're having this problem, because I've had this problem, okay, where you're like getting in the wrong gear on some jumps. You understand what I'm saying? Like had a little problem there. You're just like getting a little bit too high of a gear, so then it's hard for you to judge like some of those smaller jump, like finish line jump style sections, and then like jumping into the roller section, you might be having a little bit of trouble on that, and that all is more of a professional level type skill in this game, figuring out exactly what that bike's going to do, and also on top of that, how much you lean when you come off the jump face is going to affect how far you jump, how high you jump, so it's all like, it becomes very confusing at that point, because you can say, well, I'm in third gear wide open over this jump and I land it perfectly, but if let's just say you're in third gear wide open, and you're leaning back on top of that, then you're going to jump further than you think. You see what I'm saying? So it becomes very tricky at that point, but I mean, you're speeding the corners, and the roughness looks pretty decent for novice rider level, I would say. It's definitely not, it's not like, oh my gosh, this guy's so slow or something. It's just looks like a good, consistent riding basis there. Little hiccup right there. So yeah, you can see once he had the first mistake, then it's sort of, now he's starting to have quite a few here, which can definitely be a trend. You kind of get out of your focus mode a little bit. That's a very important thing in pro racing and getting to that pro level, is when you do have one mistake, you got to be able to regroup and not get so frustrated at it, not get like so mad at it, and just kind of calm yourself back down, because a lot of times you want to overcompensate and try to go faster when you crash, but then you end up crashing again, and then you're like, fuck, and then you lose the race. So it's like, even if you crash, you just got to tone it back down to your speed level, whatever that level is. Don't ride over your head just because you crashed, and that kind of thing. That is a skill aspect to it there. Now, let's see. So yeah, he's getting quite a bit of the jumps here. Not having a crazy amount of trouble with it. Obviously, you can tell like he's not driving all the way into the corner. Like, let me just kind of explain the levels in MX Simulator, okay? So if you're like wondering, well, how fast is a pro level? How fast are they really going in the corners, right? Like, how fast should it feel? Well, basically, it feels like the bike can't go any faster. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the pro level is. Like, you can't go any faster. You're wide open everywhere, right? There is no, like, hesitation. There is no, like, let off the gas into the corner. Like, you're wide open to the very... Okay, there's the end of that gameplay there. I'll play it back in some third person. Like, you are wide open all the way to the corner. You understand what I'm saying? You feel like that bike cannot go any faster than it's currently going. That's what a pro level is, and what separates like a beginner pro from a super good pro, like top level pro, is you learn like little trick lines. You learn everyone's wide open. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's wide open to the corner as fast as that bike will go. But what makes the difference is like little trick lines and being able to carry your momentum a little bit better out of the corner. And because just being wide open, if you're like spinning or your bike is not angled in the proper direction, it doesn't really matter anyways, right? You're going to be losing time. So sometimes it's more important to get the bike angled and pointed in the right direction out of the corner than it is to just hold it wide open in the corner. But once you get to that pro level, it's everybody's got her tapped out. You know what I mean? So if you feel like you could be faster with the throttle on a track, then you're probably not to that pro level yet. Because if you are on that pro level, you're going just about as fast as that bike can go. Maybe not like the very, very starting pro level point, right? But I mean, like if you're making it in main events, I'm talking like that level, like you're pretty much wide open, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's not a matter of like lack of speed as much as I feel like it's lack of how technical you are on the bike and how savvy you are with like line selection and how let me see how to explain it, how smart and how you hit certain lines in specific ways and things like that. That's what really separates a like intermediate beginner pro to top tier pro. There's that little, like, I don't even know how to explain it to somebody. I don't know. It's that little secret level there, you know, where you got that technique down, dude, like 100%. But what I will say about it is going from like that amateur level to the pro level, well, I guess the best way to explain it is like the faster you get, the harder it is to get faster, right? So like you can get pretty fast from like a beginner to a amateur level. You can go through that process fairly quickly. You really can, right? Like you can go from just crashing all over the place, not going very fast, to actually getting around the track fairly well pretty quick. But going from like that, getting around the track fairly well to like getting around that track fast as a motherfucker, that's where it's going to take a long time. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? Like going from, let's say you're getting like as a novice rider, you're getting like a minute lap time on a track or whatever, right? That's like your fast lap. Well, getting like a 56 on the track, right? 4 seconds quicker, you wouldn't be all that difficult. You understand what I'm saying? It wouldn't be all that hard. But going from like a 56 to a 55 or 54, that difficulty level ramps up, dude. It just ramps up because it's so hard to find areas to go faster when everyone's going that fast, right? Like it's so hard to find those little edge moments and the things that allow you to really get going a little bit faster. But yeah, maybe just you're just going to get a little bit faster out of that corner exit speed. I can see how it's definitely a little bit on the this was that spot I was telling you where you can kind of run off the track a little bit there and carry your momentum around. So it looks like he was doing pretty good on that. Oh my gosh, I don't know how he didn't go down right there. Fucking crazy moments, dude. Oh wow. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you get on the off track and you catch those little edges of the ruts and the berms. It'll swoop your front end down pronto ASAP. But yeah, he's getting over that jump clean. But overall, I'd say pretty good for a novice level. Definitely not bad. I mean, your speed is there, and speed is there to a certain extent for a novice, right? Speed is there, but it's just, if you continue getting better at that consistency, you'll realize how much more that matters than the speed. And so once you get that consistency down, then you can ramp that speed up just a little bit at a time, just a little bit, work it here, work it there. And then you just start learning. You'll start going like 1/10 of a second faster in every corner, and then you'll realize, oh shit, I'm like 3 seconds faster by the end of this track, right? So it's like you're just working it up slowly and slowly and slowly, but I think you're at a pretty good pace for novice rider for sure. definitely not bad. I mean, you know, you're not like really, really swinging around the corners hot where it's like dangerous, right? You're not like right here, you kind of got there a little bit, but in basically all the other corners, you're like at a pretty safe speed. You know what I mean? You're at a pretty controllable, safe speed, even though you flipped over the berm right there. But that's what makes it so much harder when you get that level, like I was saying. That's why it becomes so harder to go faster, because it gets more dangerous the faster you go, right? Like you get to that point where it's like safe, easy, and then all of a sudden it becomes like super dangerous, super hard, and like super different at trying to keep the bike consistent at that speed level, because it's just you're going so much faster that any little thing can, like one little mistake that you might have on the track at this speed might not totally take you off the bike. You know what I mean? You might be able to regroup it, but going at that super warp speed like you have to go on the pro level, if you have one of those little mistakes, a lot of times it just flips the bike out of control and you can't even do anything about it, you know? But his entrance down into that corner was pretty good. Over some of that roughness, doesn't look like he's, you know, struggling too bad with it there. And you'll learn coming up some of these uphills how you'll get in that perfect gear where you won't have to like shift back down to keep your RPMs up. You know, you'll learn to like have enough momentum in the corner before to where you keep your RPMs in that gear up, right? That's big trick to Glen Helen is it's all about that momentum in the corner before, and that way the RPMs of the bike aren't lugging going up the hills. That way you keep your speed going all the way up the hill. But I mean, the way he's like tracking into some of these ruts, it looks pretty good, man. It's not bad. It's, to be completely honest with you, I was expecting you to be a little bit slower than this. I was expecting you to be a little bit more inconsistent. It's not too bad, man. Definitely not. Looks like you're taking some fairly decent lines on the track, and like right here, you got some pretty good speed coming through that whole corner. Let's see. Then jumping over that. Yeah, not bad, man. But either way, I hope this video helped you out. When it comes to going faster in the corners, you, I don't really know how you have your bike set up, but you get to that point where you've got it basically as much movement as you possibly can turning-wise on the bike, right? You eventually get to that point in the game where you've got it theoretically like where the stability is, where you've got the most amount of turning potential. And if you don't have it to that point, then you're not going to be able to go as fast as you humanly possibly can in the game in the corners yet, because you can't turn as sharp. So if you don't have the setup to that level, then it's going to be like feeling like, well, I can't go any faster because I can't turn it. You know, I can't get it turned. Well, that's the level where, you know, you'll eventually learn to work that to its maximum, where you can then turn to your maximum, where you then can go your full speed in the corner to the maximum. And then you'll really start to learn that from that point on. But either way, man, that's about it for the first training video. I appreciate you guys sending all of your videos in and all of your demos in. I've seen a bunch of them. I'm going to be getting to the rest of them. Don't worry. It'll be coming out soon. And like I said, just don't forget, if you're wanting me to train you in MX Simulator, just send me the footage in to SpencerTurley@live.com. No space, no capital. Shout out to my sponsors, SquidSquadSTL.com. Definitely go check him out. You know what it is. He's got a bunch of motocross clothing. I'm sure he's probably going to be coming out with some new stuff here pretty soon. So definitely check that out. In my last video, I was wearing his lightweight hoodie. I was actually pretty impressed by the way that hoodie felt. I was like, I mean, usually when you see like a lightweight hoodie on a website, you're kind of like, they may just be saying that like it's to try to get you to buy it, you know what I mean? But he sent that lightweight hoodie to me, and I was like, damn, this is actually a pretty cool feeling hoodie. Like, it's not heavy, but it still gives you that hoodie feeling. I don't know. It was just cool. It was like really felt like what you thought the coolness of a lightweight hoodie would be, I guess would be the best way to explain it. But yeah, he's got those there on his website, and also t-shirts and everything else. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys watching all the videos. I'm really starting to love this series. It's a real joy for me to come in here and try to help people out the best that I can. And that's a big goal for me with a lot of the YouTube videos that I'm going to be getting into here in the near future. So yeah, it's just it's fun to do it. It's fun to help other people out, and especially on a game like this that I've dedicated the better part of like 3 or 4 years of my life to. It's been a big part of my YouTube channel, and so it's a good way to give back other than making custom tracks and videos and stuff like that. It's just kind of another layer to it. I think it's pretty cool. But either way, thanks for watching all the videos. Later, dudes.